Welcome to the Life Curation Podcast. I'm your host, Andrina Tisi. Together, we will explore thoughts, inspirations, and conversations that feed our soul, spark the mind, and nourish the body. Thank you so much for being here to learn and grow, and for walking this journey called life with me. Hi there, I'm so happy for you to be here on the Life Curation Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Today is a solo episode, so you and me in your ears, and thank you for being here. One of my favorite mantras is Sat Nam, and it's a Kundalini mantra, and it means truth is my essence, or truth is my identity. And today I kind of want to share some thoughts I have and a tool on how to stay true to ourselves and how we can keep coming back to that truth. And I feel that, especially in the times we're in, that our truth gets tested with different opinions, different information, and I just think it's super powerful to stay true to ourselves and also respect and accept that other people may have a different truth, and also be open to our truth to change and to what other people's truth is. And today I can say this is my truth, but that may change. And one of the things that has really helped me over the last years is to define my core values. And we know values a lot of times from maybe a corporate aspect where a company has that kind of defined, but do we have it defined for ourselves? And for me, when I started working with that through one of my educations I did, one of my education in coaching, and to really tap into what is important to me and define that, has really helped me to be more integral with myself and my values, as well as to really look in the mirror in the evening and say, I've lived to my values. And of course there are days where that is more easier than other days, but it keeps us coming back to our path, and it gives us kind of a guiding line in a way to see, well, is this in line with my values? And it really also creates a lot of respect for ourselves, in a sense that, we can stand up for who we are and what we stand for. And look in the mirror in the evening and say, yes, I did live that today to my capacity. And And what I also find interesting is that when I started defining mine, is that to really dig deeper and question myself what it really means to me. So for example, well, if honesty is a value that I have, as an example, what does that mean? What does that really mean to me? Because to me, honesty, and to you, honesty may feel completely different. I would say love is a really big one, right? What does love mean? What does it mean to live that? For you and for me, that means something different. So the way I did it is that I took a list of values, and you'll find a link in the show notes where I've put together, lists of values, and it's big, and you can Google it and you'll find other lists, and you can add stuff to it if something is missing. It's just a guide, really. So I want to just share with you how I did it. So I printed this list, and I started to circle all words and aspects and values that are important to me. And then I just let it sit, and I noticed I had so many things that I had circled. And, it's also a process that doesn't happen within a half an hour. So let it kind of be a birthing process. And, it can also change, 6 months later, things may shift a little bit. And then I noticed that certain things kind of are similar, right? They go into a quote unquote similar category. So, for example, I had circled love, friendliness, honesty, trust, open-minded, reliability, intimacy, friendship, warmth, passion, respect, tolerance. So this is just an example, right? And I had many more on that list circled. And I'm going to give you another example in just a moment. And then I just noticed, well, all of this kind of play into what love means to me. So then I was able to put that into kind of a column, or like a category of love. And then with all the other values kind of underneath it, like friendliness, like honesty and friendship and intimacy, etc., that all defines what love means for me. Which then also becomes really interesting to talk to maybe your partner or your family about that and see, well, what does love mean to you? And then it becomes really interesting to get to know the other person on that level, and for the other person to get to know us. Another example, for example, is I have success on my value list. And what does that mean to me? Well, it's abundance on all level, and not only outer but also inner. And it also means that I want to live my values, and it also means to feel self-confident, and it means bravery and co-creation. So success may mean for you something completely different. So that's where it's interesting, because you and I can have the same value, like for example, success, but it means completely something different. And I did that with starting to circle all these words, these values, and then putting them into these categories. And you can do it, I did it Virgo style in an Excel sheet, but you can do it just on a piece of paper in whatever form. You could also do it with sticky notes. that you write everything on different sticky notes and you just shuffle them around and see how it feels. And, there's different thoughts on how many values to have. And I think anything between 4, 5, and 8, 9, 10 is kind of reasonable. So of course at the one point at the beginning that seemed like really daunting for me because I had all these different words circled, but then putting them into this category really helped. And then I actually also just painted out, I did a little bit of a sketching with my main values. And, it can also be that maybe in your work environment, you just notice that something doesn't fit anymore, or you're not even sure what it is, or maybe it never really fit. And maybe suddenly you notice, hey, it has to do that something really goes against my values, that there is a disconnect. And so maybe that can be also a conversation opener that, value is being talked about in a team, and you come up with team values. You can also have values for your family, include your kids in this play. I've also had, when I had workshops or retreats, we had just certain values for the time that a group is together, like what is important to us. And what it also creates is a sense of safety and a sense of trust. And it can just be very powerful to know that about ourselves and know that about somebody else. And it also can help us with boundaries. Like if we notice that our values are being challenged or not respected, that may also mean that our boundaries are not being respected. Or same with other people, right? Do I respect somebody's value? Therefore, I respect that person's boundary. And that comes back to how I started in terms of Satnam. My truth is my truth, and I wish that other people respect that. But it's also up to me to respect others people's values and other people's truth. And that's not always easy, right? Because we're, like, human beings can be very secure about their own truth. And sometimes it can also be shaky, but it can also be very strong. So to stay open to somebody else's truth, I think, is a really powerful practice. And at the same time, to stand for our own truth, to stand for our own values, to stand in our standing, and to self-respect of what we believe. So I really encourage you to play with these values and, make it light. Just read the list and start to circle it. Maybe do it like me, open up an Excel sheet. Maybe you just do it in your journal. Maybe you use sticky notes. make it playful, let it marinate, and give yourself time. Maybe you don't need a lot of time, maybe you do. And also that, allow it to shift and change. And I'm really curious to see and to hear from you how that resonates. And maybe you have done that before. And I would love to also hear your experience with it. And yeah, I hope this is a little inspiration for you to really get to know yourself better. And with life curation, it really comes down to that. Layer by layer, day by day, hour by hour, we get to know ourselves a little better. And things change, we change. The only constant in life is change, and exploring of who we are, and at the same time opening ourselves up to share who we are, and opening ourselves up to others and really see their truth, and finding that beautiful artwork within ourselves, in our life, and with others. It is a very big topic, and I hope this gave you a little bit of inspiration to start to think about your values and connecting and staying in your truth. And that's a journey too. It's a little bit of a dance. And sometimes that's also easier to do with somebody. So grab a friend, grab your partner, or contact me. I do this with my clients, and it really can give a lot of clarity. And I do have coaching spots available. We can also hop on a free call to figure out what would really work for you. So anything I can do for you, just reach out. And speaking of clarity, I do have under the gifts section on my website, I have a 4-step journey, Chaos to Clarity. And I link it in the show notes. It's very easy. It's andrinatc.com/chaos to clarity. And you can sign up there to get that directly into your inbox. And now I leave you. Thank you so much for allowing me to share my thoughts, to be in your ears. And if you have anybody that you think could enjoy this episode, send it to them, share it on any channels you're active on and you feel called to share this. And also, I would love for you to hop over to iTunes and press those 5 stars right on the bottom when you scroll down in the Life Curation podcast. And maybe you even have 1 or 2 words to say that would help other people to find the podcast and know what it is about, besides what I'm saying it is about. So thank you, and have a really good journey with your values, and stay connected. Thank you.